Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Wick is Pain, and this is a new documentary from director Jeffrey Doe about the creation of the John Wick franchise. And this documentary is an interesting behind-the-scenes look at the journey that is the John Wick franchise, and Chad Stahelski and Keanu Reeves, David Leitch, and everybody else involved bringing this film together, like Erica Lee, one of the producers. And this is a very, if you love behind the scenes stuff about movies, this is a very informative, thorough, engrossing look at this journey. It does spend a big chunk of its time on the first film in particular, and then does go into the other ones, but it really is a big chunk that focuses on the first film, and you have this build up. It's well structured, it's very linear, it's not going to surprise you in that kinds of terms, but it does give you learn a lot of little details about the craft of stunt work and all those kinds of things that really make this franchise so special. And you get Chad Stahelski's backstory and David Leitch and bits of their personal lives and really their conflict throughout directing this film together, because this is a big strain on their friendship. And they don't shy away from how they react to each other. They'll cut back and forth between them talking about each other, and you can really feel that tension. And then you just have Keanu Reeves, who's just having a great time, fanboying out about all this stuff and being really honest and energetic about talking about his experience in these films. And that's what I love about this film. There's a passion that Doe is able to capture through this documentary of Chad Stahelski and Keanu Reeves. And you get some very blunt and honest takes of some of the people who worked on these crews and how challenging it was. And there's some tragedy in terms of the backstory of Chad Stahelski and Jason Lee being very close friends, and him having to fill in for Jason post accident of him dying on the set of The Crow, and that kind of element. And it's hard seeing this tension between Chad Stahelski and David Leitch, their friendship fracturing, but it's so cool seeing the behind the scenes and getting the details of how hard and challenging it was to make some of these scenes work. You learn so much about the craft of filmmaking by watching this documentary. I was never bored. This film's a little over 2 hours, but it's so engrossing. It keeps a good pace. It has such an interesting perspective on bringing these films together. It spends less and less time as it goes on for them, and maybe they felt a little bit rushed with some talking about some of the the third and the fourth film, but it's an interesting and engaging, well put together documentary. Like I said, it's not going to blow you away from a structure or a filmmaking standpoint, but the incorporation of the actual John Wick music got me pumped throughout watching the documentary, and just all of the behind the scenes stuff is invaluable in getting to check that out. You even have Chad and Keanu sitting there doing basically commentary on the film as they're watching footage, and oh, I messed up my knee there, and you get all of that kind of behind the scenes stuff. It is really invaluable things, and I think Doe does a fine job of threading this all together and helping you understand what Wick is Pain really means, and all the sacrifice that it went to making this great franchise. But those are my thoughts on Wick is Pain. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in, supporting your Wasteland reviewer.